We're live. This is 102.
We are live.
Yep.
102. And we are joined by Saeed and Owydat, also known as Paco. Welcome back to the show. I miss you guys very much. Let's get right into it. Today's topic: why the fuck there been like so many revolutions and like protests all over the world, right? And it's been going on in a pattern of like 10 years now.
Yeah, and it's all over the world. I mean, like South America, like Venezuela, and to like the Middle East, to like China, to Russia, to the States even, right? There were like riots happening here a couple months ago. So what's going on?
Belarus, you have in Ukraine, you have in like... Why? What's going on?
The oppression of the government, bro.
I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. But now here's where the pattern becomes worrying. It's always the same reason: oppressive government and people that want their freedom.
Yeah, but like for instance, in Lebanon, it didn't happen that way. The government does oppress the people. That's true. And whatever you want to do, but it didn't evolutionize into a war. It didn't turn into a war.
Didn't turn into a civil war. Yeah.
Lebanon didn't we've been through the civil war. We know the consequences of a civil war. That's why civil war doesn't happen. 1, 2, civil wars cost money. And before civil wars, governments, external governments like
external governments, exactly.
External governments used to throw money. Now they don't. Now they don't have to. They can just do sanctions on the ruling government at the moment, like they're doing now. So I don't know, man.
What are these sanctions? I keep hearing like they're sanctioning sanctions on Lebanon. Do you know
it's mainly economic sanctions.
So like what? So like if you're trading bananas and stuff, they'll like not like put more taxes. I don't know what that means.
No, it's just they can't buy, or they can, but it's gonna be more expensive. They like buy external goods, and you can't give money to Lebanon. You know how before like the Gulf countries used to throw their money in Lebanon?
Sure.
Like they used to throw a lot of money at Lebanon. Now they can't do that.
You mean like just like traveling there and like doing the nightlife and buying things and
that
stuff?
No. Like even that is a portion of, but like there's also the like lending money, helping with you know, like Kuwait used to be a major factor in doing that, and they even stopped as well in Jordan and places like this. Here's why: I've given you millions and millions of dollars to fix your streets, right? 20 years later, your streets are still shit. What does that tell me?
No, it's not because of that. Because the streets were shit 10 years ago and 15 years ago and 20 years ago.
Okay.
It's not that. It's not that. It's just you have, unfortunately, right now we have a certain political party that the United States doesn't want. It does, no, they all steal the money. It's not one.
That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get to.
It's not about stealing the money. It's about one political party that did some bad things to a certain government, to the United States. And now they found a weak point in this country where there's no money. And they need the money for the people to shut the fuck up. Because most people have government jobs. They either are employed by the government or in like some company.
Do you know how much of the Lebanese population works for the government?
No.
Saeed, no clue, huh?
But what I was trying to get at was, let's go back to the road example, right? It's just an example. I'm not saying that the roads are shit. Like, say you have shitty roads, a country comes, gives you money. You know what? Here's a few million, fix your roads. 20 years later, you find that
give us money. It was the banks. The banks.
I know.
They took your money, they put them in and they took the Kuwaiti or the Emirati or the Saudi money, and they put them in the bank account. And instead of giving the money back, like in a bank account, instead of giving the money back, they loaned the money back to the government. The government, instead of taking a loan from the IMF, took a private loan from the banks. Now, they did the same thing in Japan, but in Japan, they gave a shit. And they didn't steal the money. And everything is 100% in Japan.
Wow.
But here, they stole the money from the private banks. the Gulf countries, they did give money to the Lebanese people, but to the Lebanese government, and yet failed. It's not their fault, and it's not our fault. It's the fact that the Lebanese people were blinded by so many generations of them telling them, or let me rephrase it because I said it wrong.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
That it's because older generations always were blinded by the fact that these politicians would help them, and they took the money and they didn't help them, and every time they took the money they didn't get help. They just stole the money and made themselves get richer.
So
But it's not just
that's
that.
what I've been trying to get to it when I said that.
But
That's
you're
why we
saying
don't.
the Gulf countries gave the government money. That's true, but they Gulf countries put money into their banks before.
Okay. I mean, isn't that
That's
how
a
money
whole
is supposed to
different
work?
No. Before, the way you were making it sound like the Gulf country directly gave the Lebanese government money, which is true in 2006, which is true in 2006,
Fair.
and 2007 and 2008. But now they took private loans. When you take private loans, it's a whole different world.
I see.
Well, end of the day, you basically
now,
went to the conclusion I was trying to get to, is that you have these politicians, the corrupt politicians. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad you said it and not me, because I was trying to get you guys to realize it, right? So now I'm glad that you guys are on the same page as me. Is the money?
But I want Saeed's input in this.
We'll get to him shortly, and his pink background. But that's basically what I've been trying to say. So that's why, for example, in things like when it comes down to Kuwait helping like the Lebanese country, we don't send money to help. We send you the equipment that you need.
You send
that
money.
way. Like, what's the worst?
You send money. Kuwait and Emirat, they send money. The American government sends in equipment. They send in $100 million worth of equipment, worth of guns and helicopters. You guys, unfortunately, I'm not blaming you guys. It's just that's what unfortunately that's what the system goes. You guys gave us money, and all not just money, of course, goods and other things, but you guys gave us money too. But it's not. Again, like that was in 2008, 2009 when Hariri rebuilt the fuck out of this country. And even though he did steal money too, like he took money as well. Like nobody not take money, but it is what it is.
It is.
I hate Arabs. That's why I'm really not liking the Arab approach because they're more. Yeah, what'd you say, Saeed?
Okay, so first of all, correction. Hariri was building back in in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s. That's what I know.
No, it's true.
He was dead in 2005. Couldn't fix anything in 2009. Secondly,
they planned to fix.
The loans that you mentioned were not mainly from the private banks. They were from the Masraf Lebanon, the central bank of Lebanon. They were taking loans from the central bank and basically they would take massive loans which they didn't need, and they would use some of the money, barely any of the money, to actually do anything. And obviously, so like for example, repairing streets or whatever, they would use some of the money, sometimes none of the money, and the rest of the money they would just keep it for themselves. So, for example, the electricity. At one point, when Gibran Bassil was the minister of electricity, we received a loan of almost $1 billion. Wow. We still don't have 24/7 electricity, so I don't know where that 1 billion went. And the thing is, no, Kuwait, yes, they did send money. I think, Ali, what you were mentioning was when they sent equipment was after the explosion, but before the explosion, they sent in money. True.
Okay. Yeah.
So did other countries. Regardless, France even sent money through contacts with Saad al-Hariri, the son. But the thing about giving Lebanon money, which wasn't helping, and something they should have realized earlier was because we've been getting donations from other countries from the 90s. I mean, why did it take for a massive explosion that happened in 2020 for them to realize that the government isn't really doing their job? And now the
First of all,
president
they
of France,
knew.
and now the
They
president
knew,
of
bro.
France comes over and he tells them that you guys can basically get off scot-free if you initiate the few economic reforms that I have asked you to implement.
This was
Which
yesterday.
were?
Yeah.
This was yesterday when he went and met with the leader.
Yeah, well, Macron.
Mm-hmm.
What was this? What did he want exactly? So
Do you know?
do you know?
The exact reforms I'm not sure, but he said he wanted them to implement economic reforms and get a new government instated so that they can start working, so that they can get the reforms passed on. But basically they're giving them get out of jail free cards.
Get out of jail. Well, shouldn't they be in jail? Isn't that if you're in charge of a country and that happens, you know?
Definitely.
Right.
And in the recent investigations, they've arrested like 4 security officers, not security officers, as in like security people that they put at the.
First of all, they all knew all about the explosion. They knew about the money.
Workers.
And second of all, I'm sorry to cut you off. They knew Lebanon was it's all a plan. In my opinion, it's always been a plan. They always knew Lebanon was a corrupt country. They always, it's like feeding a drug addict. You're always going to feed the drug addict money, and then eventually the drug addict is going to go buy drugs and then keep up with his habit. That's what happened.
Yeah. We'll fix the roads. Yeah. Yeah. And then they start.
I'm going to fix myself after I take this fucking blunt or this. It doesn't work like that. But they knew.
Let's try to keep.
They knew everything that's happened in Lebanon. They knew. They predicted it and they saw it coming. And by the way, in 2010, they said the same thing. This country's gonna fail, and when it fails, it's gonna hit hard. Stop voting for these people. They keep on voting for them. 2015 or 2016, again, the same person said the same exact thing. You have a chance. No, they didn't listen, and then look where it took us. So, who's to blame? Is it the politicians or is it the people? I blame the people, not the politicians. The politicians were smart. They took advantage of the system.
Yeah, it's the people
and that's it. I would never blame the politicians.
It's the people.
So you don't blame the liar, you blame the one who got lied to, basically. Because why did you get lied to in the first place? Okay, I respect that view on the issue, and I'm glad that the youth of Lebanon has finally woken up to the situation. Because boys, we've heard this 100 times, and we'll keep hearing it until we realize. But you guys are the future of Lebanon, right? You guys are the future voters. When they say you're the future of this country, they don't mean you're one day going to be president. Not you. I'm talking to you.
Not you. Not you.
Not you. But Saeed and whoever is still in Lebanon and is willing to stay with Lebanon. When they say you're the future, they don't mean that you're the ones who are going to be the presidents or the people running the shit. They mean you're the ones who are going to choose who to put in position, right? So choose wisely, J. Cole.
If you leave, this is the way I see it. If you leave, who are you gonna leave this country to? Like, who are you gonna leave this country for? Not your kids, because your kids are probably gonna be raised outside. So who are you gonna leave this country for?
I don't know, but anyone. To my answer to that is anyone but the sharks. Anyone but the sharks that have been stealing and destroying and corrupting and polluting and like.
Yeah, but don't forget that if I work in we built a house. You know how many people robbed us in building a house?
Yeah.
Just building a house. These are Lebanese people. These are just regular ass people.
This is not explosion times. You mean just in general?
They're not
just
they
rob how? What do you mean?
Something like that. Like in someone steps, 10 steps. 10 to go up the second floor. in a building cost us $5,000 or $10,000, and when it should have cost $1,000. Why did it cost $5,000? Well, because you came from outside, you have money. That's why it cost $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever it costs.
So profiteering.
Yeah,
basically.
that's what they do. Yeah. So I'm like, man, now I understand why you deserve why things. But then again, not all people are like that.
That's the
well,
issue.
exactly.
Some people are very good people.
Yeah, in Lebanon, I feel like there is this split, whereas there are like a lot of honest, hardworking, good people, right? that will do their job right, and there are people who steal.
No,
there are
there
a lot of people who
is.
steal.
And
There are a lot of
they
people
get
who are-
overshadowed.
From an outsider and an outside point of view, there's a huge moral gap in Lebanon where there you have the extremely hardworking, good, honest people, and then you have the extremely corrupt and bad and
thugs, the
dirty, cheating thugs that just want to dry you for every single lira they can kind of people, right? There's a huge gap between the two. There's no like moral gray area where it's like, I'm not going to do good, but I'm not going to do bad. It's either I'm going to do good or I'm going to do bad. There's no, in between. So that's what I've realized. Because some of the greatest people I've met are from Lebanon, right? No joke. But again, unfortunately, some of the worst people I've met are also from Lebanon. So that's how I've come to the conclusion. Like, no offense to Lebanon, obviously. Like, I love that country to bits, but like,
wherever you go in the world, you'll always meet the greatest people in the world.
True.
And the worst people in the world. Like,
I'm
I've
not
met
saying
some of the worst Gulfies or Kuwaitis or whatever you want in the world. Like, I met the worst. Like, I'm talking about they go to the strip club, have a bottle of Jack Daniels, smoking weed, and they still call you a bitch. And then I met some of the greatest, like you, Ali. I met some of the greatest people from Kuwait, some of the most humble and hardworking people. But you cannot, like, same thing in Syria. Same thing in Syria. There's a big population in Syria. I'm a person that really doesn't like Syrians, but some of the nicest people in the world are Syrian. And some of the worst people in the world are
That's
Syrian.
a fair statement.
Guys, if you
what
notice,
I'm saying is,
there's a pattern here. Some of the greatest people are it doesn't depend on your nationality or your culture or whatever. It's a personality trait, and then because some of the baddest people can be from any country, and some of the best people can be from any country as well.
But here's the question: How does personality happen?
Huh?
The way you were raised.
Yeah,
exactly.
The way
how are you raised? You're raised based on the environment you were in.
Okay.
No,
sometimes some people were raised in the same environment and they turn out differently.
Yeah, but that's rare to find. Let's be honest. Like, I hate to say
I
this,
met some of the greatest people in the world in the hood, bro. In the worst slums in America, bro.
Shout out to the hoods.
It's bro.
St. Louis.
Fuck that, bro. But sometimes you will meet some of the greatest people in the world.
That's true. Fair. I guess it depends on what we value in humans,
And the
like
thing
some
is,
people value
no, it's the way you were raised, bro.
It's the way you were raised.
I mean, look at Trump. Look at Trump, for example. Look at Trump. Look at Trump, for example. Like he was raised in a good economic situation, and probably his I don't know anything about his family, like how they raised them, but I mean, why did he turn out this way? No,
because that gave him a small loan of $1 million, just a tiny loan.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like, it's all about how you get raised, and like you said, the environment you're around, not the economic situation that you're put in. Because you have rich people that are complete assholes. For example, the vice president of George Bush, Dick Cheney, was an atrocious person. He was the one who was responsible for all of the wars that Bush got America into. He's the one who manipulated them and convinced them to go to war with Iraq and stuff. So it doesn't.
I mean, the war with Iraq, they used Kuwait as a leverage. They were basically like, you guys did this to the Kuwaitis.
Same thing as everywhere else.
Okay, the war in Iraq, it it was a Gulf thing. All right,
It
because the
was.
Gulf countries came together and were like, we need Saddam Hussein out,
No, man.
and
No.
so
No,
and
that's not what
America,
happened.
The main thing that they
That's
wanted to happen was
yeah,
the US, the
yeah,
politicians in power at the time wanted
yeah,
to basically go raise their stock prices for oil companies. There's this one company that is run
okay,
by Cheney's friends. I forgot the name of it. I remember, but
okay.
the stock percentage went up by over like around 1,000% after the war.
And how
War is
could that
profitable
happen?
because war is profitable.
I
Or makes
understand, but how
money.
could that happen? You have the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the Emirates. If you don't have their approval, you will have a war against America. America does not want to have a big war. It wants a war just with Iraq, not with the Middle East. And if you don't help them to help yourself, you cannot get anywhere.
yeah,
So
but don't.
they all stood. That's why the Gulf countries bow down to the Americans. Sorry, Ali.
No, they do. No, they do. They do. I would say the same.
What
No.
do you think? Because
Why?
America, what?
I'll tell you why.
When they went into Iraq, a lot of men passed away, took their lives. Unfortunately, had their lives
Okay.
taken away.
The fact, listen, what you said, there was something you said that was wrong. Usually I say it's your opinion, I said, but there was something you said that was very wrong. The Gulf countries did not want Saddam Hussein to be completely outed from the whole situation. Saddam was
But that was
acting
the
up.
cause.
What caused the whole thing?
That's the cause.
Let me explain it to you.
Cause.
Do you know our history better than me? Let me explain.
Oh, I'll tell you this. I know the Iraq and Kuwait history more than you do.
Go ahead. Okay.
How the British split you up, when the British split you guys up, that's when the fall. And from 1971 till now, bro, really don't want to discuss politics.
Let me tell you. Here's what happened. Fair, but let me give you like a brief summary of what happened. Saddam was acting up. He had his eyes set on Kuwait the whole time. Kuwait was never a part of Iraq, except that's what Saddam believed. He thought Kuwait was always a part of Iraq, to the extent where as soon as he set foot in Kuwait, he called it Muhafadat Sitash, which is basically, I don't know how you say Muhafada in English. Providence 19,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He called it Providence 19 of the Iraqi state, which it was not. In fact, Basra, which is the southernmost town of Iraq, used to be a part of Kuwait, right? And it's like Kuwait was never in history a part of Iraq. But what did he do? He's like, okay, since you guys proved to me that Kuwait was never a part of Iraq, Kuwait's been siphoning oil from us. But no, we haven't. We said that there was oil that's in between our borders. We agreed to give you guys 50% and we'll take 50%. We even agreed to give you 60-40 and you still didn't want it. You want to take the whole thing. That's not going to happen. What did they do? They invaded the country. That's what happened. Now, how did America and Dick Cheney get involved? I believe Iraq has weapon of mass destruction.
Mass destruction.
Nope.
Right? One. No, this is the reason. This is
I
know.
That's what they told people.
I'm telling you.
That was not the reason why.
I know. I'm telling you that this is what they're using as their reason to go into Iraq. We believe that Saddam Hussein is holding weapons of mass destruction.
We need to sell freedom in the Middle East.
Okay, we can sell freedom in the Middle East. 3, they invaded Kuwait, which is a neighboring and peaceful country that never got involved with anything.
That was their Kuwait in 1990.
Okay.
No. They invaded Kuwait in 1990.
1990.
The weapons of mass destruction wasn't brought up till
2004, 2003, and 2002.
No, they ended the war in 2003. They captured Saddam Hussein in 2003, and it wasn't until 2006 they had him hanged al-Eid, which was kind of iconic. But that's not the point.
It was kind of iconic. Screw you, dude.
Yeah, they killed Saddam Hussein. He's like, yeah, we're gonna. What the biggest people in the Middle East?
عيد الأضحى نذبح الخروف والقصص.
Bro,
let's not get Kuwait in a week. Not even a week.
Not a week. 5 hours.
Yeah. 5 hours.
That's all.
5 hours. Yeah, picture Kuwait as Saudi Arabia. It can take Jeddah in less than a couple of hours, bro.
Bro, I know.
It can take
I
you
know.
Dubai in less than a couple of hours.
In
It
Saddam's
can take
period,
this in a couple of hours.
his army was the 4th greatest army in the world.
Oof.
That's
I don't know if you guys have known this or not.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Because Ali, you're looking a little
No.
surprised.
Well, I mean, I'm
The
not
fourth
too sure.
greatest-
Yeah, who currently right now? Who's the strongest army in the Middle East?
In the Middle East, it's I think it's like Saudi Arabia. Let's just be based on
Yeah.
numbers. Followed
No,
by
it's based on
Jordan.
technology. Saudi
I mean,
Arabia
yeah,
is more based
technology.
on technology.
Saudi Arabia,
Because they buy
Jordan,
weapons.
and then I don't know who.
I thought
I
Egypt
don't know.
like had numbers.
But
I don't
Turkey's
know.
not Arab.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they're not even Middle East if we're gonna be
Yeah, they're
completely
not Arab,
honest
bro.
here. They're like more
Egypt
European.
aren't Arab. Egypt.
Egypt, yeah, Egypt is number
has
3.
has numbers, doesn't have
Yeah.
weapons.
But if we're talking about strength, based on just strength, regardless of numbers and thing, it goes Saudi. I think it goes Saudi, Jordan, Egypt,
Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Like
No,
Kuwait's at the
Lebanon-
bottom of the list. But do you guys blame us? We're like a tiny ass country, bro.
Mhm.
By the way, are you talking about just Arabs or the Middle East in general?
No, just the Middle East.
Because Middle East, Iran is considered Middle East.
Mm.
No, it's not. It's not, bro. You can sit there and debate me all day. No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Central
You
Asia.
you do you. That's your opinion.
Mhm.
But
It's
No, it's
Persian.
not my opinion.
Well, it's
My
Persian.
opinion is not an opinion. This is fact, bro. Iran is a Persian state.
Mhm.
It is totally outside the Middle East. You can open
that's
a
why I
map and
asked
you
if
can
we were
check it
talking
out.
about Arab states or Middle Eastern.
It's not even Arab. It's not even in the Middle East. You can sit there all day. You can tell me your opinion because that is not.
Is Iraq
it's not an
in the Middle
opinion.
East?
It's a fact.
Iraq.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah. If you look
How
at the
does it
map.
make sense? Iraq and Iran are like literally
No.
neighbors.
They're bordering countries, but so is Kazakhstan. So is Afghanistan
Mhm.
with the Iran.
Mhm.
So is what's it called, Turkey, but they're not Arab. They border with Syria. What
I'm
the?
not talking.
You
That's
can't
the
say that.
Turkey has
I
the
didn't say
strongest.
Arab.
can't
I
say
said
that,
Middle
bro.
East.
Turkey ones.
Middle East, not
No, and
Arab.
they're-
There's a difference.
Middle East is Arab. Middle East is Arab.
No,
Yes.
not true. No,
Tell me
not true.
Arab
Middle East,
country.
like
Tell me a country
Israel is in the
that's
Middle
not
East.
Arab
It's
in the
not
Middle
Arab,
East.
حبة.
Cyprus.
Israel is in the Middle East and it's not Arab. Israel.
Cyprus is Europe.
Boys. Let's settle this, okay?
Israel is
Bye.
in the Middle East.
We're gonna go with Ammo
Israel
Google over
is
here.
in the Middle East and it is
Israel
Arab.
probably has
But
the
they
biggest
don't claim
budget.
themselves
There
as
you go.
Arab.
There you go.
Let's end this like right now. Number 1 is Turkey. This is in the Middle East.
The MENA region.
God.
No,
God.
Turkey's half in the Middle East, half Arab, half European.
This is according to Forbes.
فخد-
True.
You have
no,
Arab. لا
Forbes.
حبة. They're all Turk. ما في منهم Arab. They're not
I
Arabs.
know they hate Arabs.
Okay.
Who
They're Middle Eastern.
who hates Arabs?
Turkish.
Turkey?
We don't hate. They don't hate. They just some areas that are stuck up.
Here we go. Are you ready for number
No,
2?
you're telling me Persia.
Yalla, Egypt. Yeah,
is
I knew.
in
I
the
figured,
Middle
right?
East.
Yeah.
Yeah, Egypt is the number 2.
Yeah, just the
followed
size.
by
Israel.
well,
Wow.
I don't see number 3 to be honest. Like I don't know, is number 3 missing to you guys or is it just me?
Yeah. No. I don't see it either.
I don't
Let's see.
it.
Iran
We'll
is
just go
probably
to
on this
number
list.
4.
Iran,
Yo,
yalla.
can you check if Iran's in the Middle East?
فاكو please ما تعلمني على my major. Don't teach me on my
سلم
major.
أهل إيران وأهل إيران bro. Fuck Iran. And fuck
Okay,
you too.
cool.
انت جاي من امريكا حبي ما بتعرف انت ما
No, bro,
بتعرف.
Iran's not in the Middle East.
Guys, let's calm down. We're not trying to start shit on this
A civil
podcast.
war on the podcast.
I don't care what you say. Iran is not in the Middle East, bro.
I mean,
I don't care
regionally,
This is this
what you
website.
say.
This is the website.
First of all, you can go on any website and tell me. I know the map of the Middle East. I know Arabs to the death, bro.
بروش ما تعمل لي هلا حالك انت شيء عبقري هلا
Bro,
بالجيو
you are the
geographical
last
region
motherfucker to talk anything. Bro, you sit your ass at home, bro. I know the map.
Yo, guys,
You see your ass at home. I
chill.
study the map.
Can we chill, please?
Saudi
Please,
Arabia.
let's chill. Let's get through this list. We have a lot to talk about. So we're followed by Saudi Arabia,
Saudi,
then
Algeria,
Algeria,
Syria,
Syria,
wow.
Morocco,
Love Lebanon too.
Iraq, United Arab Emirates. Although like not even half, most of their army are not even freaking Emiratis. But whatever, we'll let it slide.
Is it true
Yeah,
they're not
that's it.
Emiratis? And
Dude, yeah.
who do they
Dude,
have?
how many Emiratis are there anyways? They're literally, they don't
Are there
even
more
make
Kuwaitis?
1% of their total
Are there
population.
more Kuwaitis than Emiratis?
And then there are Emiratis, yeah, there are.
I
There
believe
is.
it.
There is. Because they make 1% of their population. We make 25% of our population. Total
The population's bigger, no? I know.
Yeah, but still.
Mhm.
Like, they don't even make up 1% of their population. Not even one. They're like 0.9 or 0.8 of their population. So what does that tell you?
It's not a. What is that? What does that tell you? I don't know.
It basically tells you that they were, dude, the whole history of Imarat is like not even that, like their country is like extremely new. It's newer than you guys would imagine.
When is it? When? How new? We're talking about.
Let me see.
Well, I know it was like sand dunes, and then now it recently turned into like.
It used to be a fishing village. No joke.
Yeah.
And like,
And now they have snow inside.
dude, literally, like, there you go. Here. Fucking, my dad's older than Imarat. Here, this is December 2nd,
Wow.
1971.
Wow, I didn't know it was
I
that
told
new.
you, they're very
Qatar
new.
came out the day after. You see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Qatar
wow.
the day after, 1932,
Older,
that's Saudi
yeah.
Arabia.
Wow.
I'm with
Kuwait,
Bahrain, bro. Bahrain is the king.
Where?
Gotta go to the bathroom.
So this was less than like 50. This was like less than 50 years ago. So what was UAE before that?
Okay, I'll tell you. So Dubai,
A desert.
UAE. I'll tell you what it was.
It was a desert.
UAE
50 years ago.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
bro.
You
Dubai
guys-
was
you
built
guys-
in like 30 years.
Oof.
Okay, can I now explain?
Meshi.
Okay. The tribes of Imarat, okay, used to be at constant war with each other, and Dubai used to be, I think, it was a fishing village, right? What happened was, I think, like Kuwait was the one that basically united them, and then they helped. Like, we used to send our women to teach them, like teachers, to teach their kids, and like 30 years later, you have what is known as Imarat.
Who discovered? So it was oil that like made all the Arabia rich.
Yes.
It was oil, but they didn't have it as much as the other Arab countries.
Who was like the first Arab country to be like, let's make?
Kuwait and Saudi Arabia.
Mhm.
It was relatively at the same time.
Do you know when? With this?
Roughly around, I would say around the like 40s and 30s.
Wow. So before
when-
then, they were like poor nations, like all these countries, and then oil, and now they're all rich countries.
Pretty much. Okay, see, I was right. So February 22nd, 1938, as soon as the British found oil in Kuwait, the Al Sabah family were like, okay, peace. Like, we didn't even give them the chance to even make a deal. Like, okay, we'll help you extract it, you know, and you give us half of what you make. We were like, oh, gold? Bye, guys. Thanks for the help. Which was the smartest thing Kuwait has ever done. We basically told them, you guys can, you know, go back to what you came. Yeah, pretty much. But with Saudi, there was a deal with the United States and all that stuff, and that kind of took a toll on them. So in
This makes me think-
1938,
Yeah.
as well,
So like, and how much oil is left? Do you know how much oil is still like unlimited? We're looking at, or
we're looking at like 100 years worth of sales.
I see.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a lot of oil.
That's why they're diverting into the service market,
Yeah,
Pretty
Muhammad.
much, yeah.
just in case
Boys.
when the oil runs out, they have something to fall back on.
Pretty
The
much,
oil
yeah.
is gonna run out.
It is. And if it doesn't run out,
Totally.
people are finding ways to run their show without it. So,
Yeah, they
you
have to.
know, regardless
Does that
of
scare you,
whether
Ali?
it runs out or not.
Does that scare you? A world?
No, not so
wants oil?
much because with Kuwait and the economy, there's a reason our currency is the strongest currency in the world. I mean, Saudi discovered oil too. Why is their currency like not worth shit? You know,
Why?
like
Because they printed so
because
much of it.
that's one. Two, Kuwait invested a lot in gold, from what I understand, or I think. Look, I'm talking out of my ass right now. I don't have the facts, and I'm ashamed to say so. But from what I know, is Kuwait is very smart throughout. Like from when we discovered oil to this day, with the economy, Kuwait has been like making mad moves. It's still staying on top.
But why is it the most? It's the most powerful currency, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know why that? Like, what? Who decides?
I mean, I'm ashamed to do this on the show, but I'm about to Google why
This is how you learn things. Yeah.
the
Okay,
Kuwaiti dinar is so strong. All right, I'll tell you why. We have oil, basically, from here. Let's read. It's considered the most valuable currency due to its stable value, as it is not subjected to supply and demand. Kuwait ended the link between its dinar and the US dollar since 2007.
Like, the smartest thing they did.
Yep, I told you we're very, very good in economy.
Very smart.
Okay, here.
That's what's screwing Lebanon over right now. Is that it's tied to the dollar, right?
Yeah, but
No, every currency has
we
the
had to
tie
do
to
that
the
because
dollar. It's just
Except
we
for Kuwait.
substituted our currency with the dollar.
Let's see.
Our problem
You
is
got-
more than just the dollar.
You know what used to be the currency in Kuwait? Indian
Bingo.
rupees.
Is that true?
Yep.
Whoa.
I thought it was
Because of the trades.
Between India.
So yeah, between Kuwait and India. India used to be back then like super like rich and shit. You know, like it was not a joke. India was not a joke at the time. Like the spice trade was still
As opposed
there.
to now.
Now it's not so much. No, it's not that they're not
in
rich.
tech-
It's just that they're here. We were here. We just went
Yeah.
basically. Like we rose above them by like miles.
I think
basically.
it's. I think we should like do some.
What happened?
Yes, I.
I don't know. We're trying to figure out too, to be honest.
Saeed, get on 3G.
Well, the episode's almost done.
That's not the question. Saeed, do you have 3G?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, then get on 3G, please.
And the episode's almost done.
No. We
Okay,
still
but
want to
like-
ask you questions, Said. Why are there protests all around the world? Why do you think?
Why are there, bro? We didn't even get close to talking about this topic the whole time. We were talking about.
Yeah, now I'm asking you. Why is
I
there
mean, it's a
protests all around
podcast,
the-
guys. It doesn't have to stick to the topic. We can kind of,
That's true, that's
divert a
true.
little bit. It's not gonna hurt anyone. It's just we're having an interesting conversation.
Why is the episode
It's
so
the millennials.
like
It's the millennials. They're taking over. Their mentality is taking over. That's why Gen Z is going crazy. They want to.
Clip that.
Wallahi,
Clip that. I'm clipping that.
He doesn't care. Run around with an AR-15, start shooting shit up, and then run away. Walk beside the cops. You know. Fuck that.
Hey man, don't take away my AR-15. Fuck you.
Okay, well, here I'm gonna end this episode with a joke. All right, if a Gen Z went to war, before he goes off the plane, he'd ask where the respawn is. Anyways, thank you for watching another episode of. Thank you for watching another episode of A to the Show. If you made it this far into the show, please do subscribe, like, do all that good shit. You guys want to shout out anything?
Subscribe.
Have you seen the video of the
get
guy
off
that
the
goes,
boy.
Wallahi, you're a gay. Wallahi, you're a gay.
No, I
seen
didn't.
that
Can you send
video?
that to me? I'll put that right now.
Yeah, play it right now.
Send that shit to me. Send it
So
before I
he
end
goes
the
up to
episode.
this Muslim kid and he's talking about like the rights for gay people, right? And all he goes up to me says, Wallahi, you're a gay. Wallahi, you're a gay.
Please send that to me. I want to put it on that episode.
What are you good?
Why are you gay? I want to put that on the episode. Please send that to Ali. Ali, send that to me, and I will pull that shit up ASAP.
Let's see.
You guys saw what I did
Okay.
there? It was a little.
Yeah, I saw it.
You guys were still recording. Let's not do anything weird.
Yes.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm not putting on this episode. I'll probably
Next one.
never put it. Yeah. Peace, love, happiness. See you tomorrow.